So the whole dash is lit up, none of the walkers were.
I can't see me not needing a strap or winch at some point on this stuff. We're up here in the Sierra Buttes for this episode. They call this area the Lost Sierra. So I wanted to get lost with my friends. We ditched all the apps and the navigation, and we just went old school with a compass and map to navigate our way through the area. We're gonna go old school. We're gonna use paper maps and compasses and use those to navigate around today. Do you have much experience navigating with a map, Dave?
You know, Harry, it's been since I was a young Cub Scout. I'm gonna need a little bit of a refresher today.
Perfect.
In everyday life, I have no sense of direction. I'm a mess. I'm a bad planner. I am not good with directions. I do a lot of things last minute.
I also was a Cub Scout, Boy Scout, got my orienteering merit badge in Boy Scouts.
Leading up to this, Harry and the team never really said anything about what we were reeling and any details of the trails.
One of the things, I tried to look up Snake Lake last night on Google Maps, and it doesn't even show a road on there. So sometimes technology can let you down. We got this map from the USGS, and it shows our dash line all the way there. We know it exists, even though we couldn't find it on Google. I've spent a fair amount of time here throughout my life, and I still get lost up in this area. The roads curve and wind back upon themselves, and there's switchbacks, you're changing direction all the time, and so I thought this would be a really good area to get back to basics. We have so much information at our fingertips these days, so if Jeremy or Dave knew where we were going, they could have looked up videos about Snake Lake, they could have found the whole route. We kind of kept that hidden from them ahead of time.
It's gonna be a learning curve for sure, but hope that don't get us lost.
I feel confident in Harry leading us here in case we get sideways.
All right, time to load up. Today I brought my 1948 CJ2A Jeep Willys, and this is my newest project vehicle. This is actually its maiden voyage, if you can believe that. Most people know that Nitto makes a trail grappler and a DOT legal tire in a variety of sizes. I run them on my LJ, I run them on my Ford, but they also make UTV competition specific tires, not for street use. And that's what I put on my Jeep. They're takeoffs. So this Jeep, it gets trailered everywhere. It doesn't get driven on the street. And these tires are a great size. It's a 32 by 9.5, nice and skinny, fits under the Jeep well. They're sticky, they hook up, and they fit on the stock wheels and with the stock suspension. I couldn't be happier with the setup.
When I think of the Sierras and wheeling it, I expect, your granite rocks, typically your loose rock gardens, and of course, your pine trees. Pretty much the same terrain that I'm kind of used to wheeling, but of course, being a completely different area kind of changes that whole thing. So today we're driving our 2014 Wrangler Rubicon. It's on some coilovers and on some Nitto 38-inch trail grapplers. It's been a great tire when running them for about a year. I've really enjoyed them a lot, and we'll be running another set for sure when the time comes.
This is the Gold Lake OHV campground back here. Great place to camp, right on the water. We're gonna continue on and come up here. We're gonna give Jeremy an opportunity to lead the group.
All right, Harry. Let's check out this map and see where we're going.
Yeah. I wanna orient this map to the north.
Correct.
Just make it easier on us.
So using as a reference point, I'd imagine we are somewhere just past that So I think, technology these days really has a lot of benefits. There's a lot of great tools out there, and there's nothing wrong with using those whatsoever. Anything can happen with technology these days, and we all know that. So it's great to kind of go back to the roots. It's a hard piece of paper with very detailed information and a compass that's going to tell you true north. It's great having that tool to be able to get out of a situation if you get lost or your technology fails you.
One thing that's useful to do is to reset your odometer. Sometimes we modify our vehicles, we re-gear, we have different size tires. They're not always super accurate, but that can be helpful in conjunction with our map scale to get an idea of how far we've come when we get to some of these different forks to know, are we at this first one where we want to go left?
If I'm going somewhere where there's no cell phone service and I know that for a fact, and I've never been on that trail before, yeah, it'd probably be a good idea to bring at least a paper map.
You know what Yogi Berra said, right?
Hey, boo-boo.
Well,
No.
that's what Yogi Bear said,
Okay.
yes. Yogi Berra said, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. Oh, that landed flat. You're gonna have to cut that out.
The fun part about off-roading too is not, there's always fun destinations to go, but it is always fun to sometimes go off the beaten path, try new places. You just never know what you're gonna find. There's a lot of history out in these hills, a lot of fun places you can go. So, and like for me, I've never been up in this area, especially this far north. So it's kind of cool for me to be somewhere new. It's new scenery, new trails, kind of a little more of an adventure. You don't know where you're gonna end up. All right, guys, looks like we found our fork on the right-hand side that we're gonna be taking. I'm like 99.9% sure this is the right way. So that means it's only right. Good news is if we went the wrong way, if we can't continue up that way, you're like, okay, we do have a reference point for the little lake. So we would know right away. If we went up higher, like, okay, yeah, this is the turnoff. I'm like, yeah, so right's gonna take us to another fork, but that's gonna do the loop to the Snake Island or Snake Lake and all that stuff.
You're a natural. You already got all this stuff figured out.
I'm trying. Maybe. Don't put that on camera.
The vehicle I was driving today was a 2021 Ford four-door Bronco Badlands Sasquatch model. It's got the electronic sway bar disconnect and the push-button lockers. We got Synergy manufacturing control arms and track bar on there. Icon Vehicle Dynamics CD EV shocks, which are the automatic adjust shocks. Tires and wheels, we had the Nitto 37-inch ridge grapplers on the Raceline beadlock wheels. Those were flawless, worked really, really well.
One of the appeals of off-roading to me is that sort of frontiersman aspect to it. I know people, and the most excited they get is when something breaks on the trail. Having an old vehicle connects you to those previous generations and the things that they did when they were out here wheeling in vehicles just like this. We just got this thing running. I've been really impressed today. I understand why these things are so popular. Even with minimal modifications, it's just been clawing its way up everything. Uh-oh, I got a problem. I still have the brakes, but the pedal broke off of the, rod.
Brake pedal goes round and round.
Nothing. Harry has seemed to broken his brake pedal there a little bit, so we're gonna get some tools and see if we can make an adjustment and get his brake pedal working a little bit better. So
I've only got 2 feet, but it's got 3 pedals. There's a sweet spot where you have to be going just fast enough, and I tried to switch which foot was on the brake pedal, and in the process, this came loose on me.
would I rather fix the Willys flat fender on the trail or the Bronco on the trail? I'm gonna say I'd rather fix the Willys on the trail, you know?
looks like we're coming to the top of the hill. It looks like on the map, it does fork off. We want to go right. It does fork at the very top, so it should be getting close to where we need to go. All right, guys, it looks like our fork's coming up, which adds up with the map as it shows the fork right on top of the mountain, so we should be right on track to where we need to be.
Jeremy, you're crushing it. Maybe we'll let Dave take a chance navigating and leading the group from there.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
We've come to this junction, and Snake Lake Loop is, as the name implies, a loop. It can be run clockwise or counterclockwise. It is the most challenging trail in the area.
When the next fork in the road here, then we've got to go, would be left, would be
Correct.
my guesstimate here. Well, you guys ready to motor?
Passing the torch to you, sir.
Okay, all right, so let's take a look at this one more time.
You got it. You got
Got a plan. The terrain up here is going to be typical of what you'll see on Ford Ice and Rubicon. I would say what I didn't expect was how tight the trails were. You know, there was a couple of real tight spots for the Bronco. All this stuff up in the Sierras is, you know, these are Jeep trails. You know, Jeeps are generally speaking a lot narrower than this new Bronco platform. I'm still on the fence on the Bronco personally. Not probably my first choice for a rig up here in the Sierras, but it didn't break and leave us stranded, so that's good.
We're gonna have a snowball fight up here in August.
Nailed it. Pissed off for some reason, I don't know. Too many electronics. Why is four-wheel drive not working at all? 4x4 temporarily disabled. So the whole dash is lit up. It won't get me into four-wheel drive at all. None of the lockers work, nothing. This whole thing just like to bed. Too much technology. Broken.
You want to trade?
Yeah, you want to drive it?
This is a bad time to point out that my flat fender has about 4 wires to it. These newfangled vehicles can let you down out here. Map can't fix that.
You know, the newer vehicles, like the Bronco with all the updated electronics and everything, you know, the push button lockers and sway bar disconnect and all that sort of jazz is really cool when it works. I should be in four-wheel drive now, so.
Okay, so it's all right. This is actually the easy way, but you know, I'm just a little concerned about the flat fender like dropping one tire off and it gets... This vehicle presents a lot of challenges. You really have to read the terrain. You always have to be on. It's got manual steering. It's not geared low enough. Tell me when to start turning. Yeah, keep going. Start cranking it now. You kind of straighten it out a little bit. Your front end's good. It's going to catch the edge of that rock. Okay. There you go. The rear's getting a little light on it. They say you don't ride in a flat fender, you ride on a flat fender, and I think that was the perfect example right there.
When that thing starts rolling, it's just, there's no stopping it. There's like no brakes on that thing, so. Yeah.
I don't think we passed Snake Lake. I think this is the road to go up. I don't know. You got me. That might have been Snake Lake, actually. If we did have GPS right now, we could pinpoint exactly where we were at. We could get a definitive answer on where we are and what lake we just passed. Whether that was Little Deer Lake or Snake Lake, we don't know. It's probably the hardest stuff we've encountered so far. The trail. It's not helping that none of the lockers are working. We might be forced to take the bypass here. When the lockers are not working, all 4 tires are not rotating and making forward progress for the vehicle, and that's a problem. What's going on there? The dash was lit up like a Christmas tree and none of the things were working right. Why? Couldn't tell you.
I mean, we came here to talk about maps and compasses, but old analog on the vehicle side of the spectrum seems like it's doing well today relative to some of these newfangled things too.
Motor's running, rig's moving. It's just we don't have lockers or sway bar disconnect, so.
I don't have lockers or sway bar disconnect either.
So that means I can't use lockers then, huh?
Yeah, you gotta turn yours off.
We got an even
No
playing
lockers
field
and even
here.
playing field?
You gotta make it even.
All right, sounds good. So.
Well, and I do know that the crux of the trail is after Snake Lake when we're climbing out. So if it wasn't this, that means there's harder stuff ahead of us. And I'd rather have you to either winch me up or to give me a strap, just to at least have that opportunity.
Sounds good.
All right,
We'll go for it.
I'll get out of your way.
If Harry's in the middle, he's got to winch up. Maybe I got to get pulled up behind him. I wonder if we're gonna stretch the Willys out. I don't know. What do you think?
I will confess that we got into some situations today and into some terrain that I was in over my head. By the time we got to the Crux, I knew this was going to be hard. I knew the section we were coming to at Snake Lake was going to be the hardest part of the trail. What I didn't anticipate was that it was going to be too hard for the flat fender. If the right call is to go back, then I'm open to that. I can't see me not needing a strap or winch at some point on this stuff. No seat belts, no roll cage. It was loose, it was steep. There's rock ledges that now the front has to pop up over, and that terrified me, to be quite honest.
We're headed back down right now. At least we can kind of look at it now from another angle going down the hill. We're gonna recess it and kind of see what Dave wants to do.
You know, the reports came back with lots of loose terrain, loose rock, steep climbs, Z-turns. You know, I've been battling some technical difficulties with my rig.
It is steep, it is loose, and then on top of that, then you get to these shelves that you have to like.
Why don't we just turn around then? Had a great day. We don't need to screw it up.
For sure.
So I think the safe call was the right call, which was to turn around and go back the way that we came. And
Inside of us, we're like, I want to do it, I want to try it. And of course, I would have been more than happy to try it.
I have so much more confidence in this Jeep than I did when it rolled off the trailer last night. This is how, you know, friendships get forged, is you go and do things together, and yeah, you face some adversity, you know. Maybe Dave's having electronic issues, my brake pedal falls off. Those are the things you remember from the trip. If everything goes according to plan, if it's all easy, that's boring. Who wants to do that? I want to come and create memories with my friends that we can look back on and laugh about, and we definitely did that here today.
the most rewarding thing to me is just like hanging out with your friends. It's quiet up here. There's no cell phone service. Nobody to bug you from work. You know, I'd never been back here to see these lakes before and see all this, and it's really beautiful. Yeah, we got a map, we got some snacks and some Jeeps and some rigs. Let's go see some stuff and have fun.
We ran the gamut here today, from old Jeeps to brand new Broncos, paper maps and apps on your phone, and regardless of which one you like, we hope you're shifting into low range and getting on the trail soon.
Thanks for watching Driving Line. If you guys like this video, consider subscribing to our channel so you'll never miss any of the content we create here. Whether you're into trucks, Jeeps, imports, domestic vehicles, or anything in between, we are here to fuel your passion. So hit that subscribe button and we'll see you guys next time.